in your house, 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 in your house, 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 in your house, 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 in your house, 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 house.
Bada boom, realest one in the room. How you doing? I'm a certified G, bona fide stud. You can't teach that. And you are tuned in to IYH.
Hi, this is Isla Dawn, and you're watching In Your House podcast. This is Alexis Littlefoot, the Big Flexer, and this is In Your House.
Yeah. In your house with O'Con. Hey, O'Con in your house. Hollywood in your house. Hypocrisy's head in the clouds. Curating all kind of loud. Wrestling in front of the crowds. Paragon's holding it down. Anybody can get it. Josh Joseph standing on his decisions. He is the voice. There is no choice. We is them boys in your house making wrestling noise. Moving fast just like cruiserweight action. In your house is the perfect distraction. Poppers in your ears when you in traction. Get this work with some wrestling action. Smooth. What is up, guys? What is cracking? It's the Con Man, and I'm in your house. And you guys already know the vibes. Anytime we slide on through, we're here to give you that work. When it comes to this professional wrestling business, and guys, it is Thursday, and I'm feeling good on a Thursday. And in the words of our WWE Undisputed Champion, I know this is the AEW show, but I got to say, how great does it feel to be here on In Your House on a Thursday night? Because I get to kick it with my boys. Of course, I got to bring them in properly. Of course, that is my man over there. He is the man who represents Gonzo Sports Room, Gonzo Wrestling Room. He's the oldest man on the internet. He's the OG of professional wrestling. That's Tony Gonzalez. How's it going, brother?
Going pretty good. Survived the floods and then survived the tornado, and so we're doing pretty good.
Mother Nature trying to kill us, OG. My God, they trying to kill us, OG. But you know what? We're still here. We're still cooking. We're still vibing. And listen, there's nobody I'd rather vibe with than my man over here. He's the producer of the show. On Wednesdays, we talk WCW. We didn't talk WCW this last Wednesday. We'll tell you about that here in a second. But every single day, he's the voice, Josh Joseph. What is up, bro?
How goes it, house? How goes it, household? How goes it, OG Tony? How you doing, my friend? I seen you made it another round of life. Much like the golf course in life, we take it one hole at a time. And we're not talking about glory holes or things like that. We're purely talking about life as a metaphor. So, Tony, I'm happy to see you. Happy to be here at the In Your House studios talking a little AEW. They're doing good. They're doing things, at least. They're doing some things.
Listen,
Let's talk about it.
I like this last episode for sure, and most definitely. And listen, one thing about OG Tony is that he's out here saying, God has granted me another day on this earth, and I'm about to make it everybody's problem. And that's exactly what we're going to do right here on In Your House, the AEW Dynamite. Review show, and I'm hanging out with my guys over here. And listen, this was a vibe of an episode to me, and here is why. I took a lot of notes down when I watched this episode for sure. And listen, but a side note real quick before we get into it, I didn't watch the show live. I watched it this morning at work when I was doing my job, which I have that opportunity, and I'm able to catch up on shows and able to properly give thoughts on them and take down notes, which I have a really great set of notes here. But the reason that I was so exhausted last night, but it was a good exhausted, and Voice knows exactly why, because last night we debuted the pilot episode of Pope and the Con Man with myself, but most importantly, NWA's the National Wrestling Alliance, that is. Pope Elijah Burke came on here. We did our very first episode of Pope and the Con Man, and I said it to everybody who's inboxed me and said, "Oh, it was a great episode. Congratulations!" Which I'm so grateful for all the DMs that I received and texts that I received on it. A little bit more than I expected, to be honest, because a lot of people vibed with that episode, and I said it to OG and I said it to Voice and a lot of other people. The debut episode of Pope and the Con Man, in my opinion, Voice, was one of In Your House's finest pieces of media.
Yeah, I mean, it was very well done. It was honestly seeing a professional at the top of his game here on our platform. We were watching Pope do what Pope does best and articulate in an entertaining way, and an educational way too. He wised us up on some things, which I enjoyed. You know, his way of delivering is what we desire for, like, for somebody to listen back to you when you have something to say that has some substance. Pope seems like he would be a person who would sit there, hear you, but then have a rebuttal.
Oh yeah.
But a well-formed one, to which you can have an actual conversation, not an argument, not a disagreement, a conversation, in which I think the world needs a lot more of that. And it seems like Pope's here to deliver that for us. Now, for you longtime fans of ours who join us for a lot of our shows, I noticed this last night. A lot of you were asking questions like, this is the only time we're ever going to have Pope.
I'm glad you're bringing this up,
He's a co-host. He's the crown jewel in which Howse is going to host around and bounce ideas off of. He's a part of the show, a part of In Your House.
Yes.
So the next time he's on that screen, it's going to be about a month or so. When you guys jump in there and just be yourselves like you guys always are in all the other chats. And just invite them into your world. Let them know what you're into. Because like you've seen at the end of it, we started talking cartoons.
And it was an absolute blast. Like, it was such a stark... I'm sorry to interrupt you, but it was such a stark contrast from the conversations that we had the conversation that we had before that. And I loved that element. It kept it light at the end. It was just... It's one of my favorite things that we've done here at the In Your House Network.
Oh, me too. And I wish it would have went a little further, a little more, because he did bring up a couple things before we went live that he might wanted to talk about. Yeah. And I had those brought up, the Freddy Krueger TV series that he was talking about. I had that lined up ready to just throw up on the screen and talk to him with.
And we're going to get more of that, bro.
Yeah,
we're going to get so much more of that. It was just episode 1.
Yeah, so fans, when you get into that, when you start seeing that more and more, when we jump into a conversation, just bring Pope into your guys' world. What you like with video games, movies, all that stuff. We're going to become Pope's friend. It's an experiment we're doing, and you guys are going to get to be a part of it. So,
and you guys are a huge part of it. Huge part of it, and we guys need you to understand. Like, but here's the thing. I would love the fact that you're saying this, Voice, and we're about to get to AEW, guys. Don't you worry. But I love the fact that you're saying this, because I do want the household to understand that this was not just a guest interview. We are co-hosting a new show here on the In Your House Network called Pope and the Con Man, and that was just episode 1. So I am so glad that you touched on that, Voice. It was a great point.
Yeah. I know our fan base, and when they see
they were
Pope
excited.
on there,
they were excited.
They were so stoked to ask him questions, and it's like, we'll get to it, guys. You know, we're at the dance. You ain't got to go up the back of the shirt right now.
And
there's time, right, Tony?
They'll get
Right?
there. They'll get
She's
there.
showing an ankle. We got time.
So we're about to hop into AEW Dynamite here, but before we do, this isn't about stroking my ego. I'm honestly asking because I think that Pope really did a great job on that show. OG, from your perception, if you got a chance to listen to it, what did you think about it?
I thought it was fantastic, and the scary part, like you said, it's one of the best things that you guys have done, and it's going to get better.
Yeah,
You know, that was the first. That was the first episode. You guys, yeah. The thing about it, it's hard to find somebody because I think Pope is genuine. I
Yes.
think that I think that, your opinion may not be his opinion. But that's fine.
Yep.
You know, but he's going to give his honest opinion, and whether you like it or not, or
Yep.
that's what he's going to give you. And he's also like the thing that Josh said. He's going to do it in an entertaining way. The dude knows how. The dude knows how to speak. He knows how to talk. He knows how to be entertaining, and that's not always easy to find. You can find somebody that's got opinions, but to be able to put it into a certain form in a certain way, that's not easy to find. So you guys got a great personality on the network now that a lot of people would kill for. So I mean, it definitely moving in the right direction, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Dude,
much.
I want OG backstage with us when he talks.
We're gonna bring.
when
Listen,
Pope-
yes, 100%.
because I think they're going to get along. Because man, dude,
I want to
it's
give
so-
everybody on the team that
Dude,
opportunity.
it's wild. It's wild to hear him talk and just be loose and just
And be real and be
yeah.
honest and be authentic. You know what I'm
dude.
saying?
It was very humbling, but in a very like I'm ready to learn type way. If
Yes,
that makes
man.
any sense.
Yes, man. It just honestly, like, if I'm just being honest, it reinvigorated me.
Yeah.
Like, it reinvigorated me. Like, I'm not saying I was like tired or like, oh, I don't want to do this. It's not that. It was just like I just got that extra burst of we are moving in the right direction, guys.
Yeah. Dude, it was just such a unique feeling the way he fit in with us.
Yes,
just the way
man.
we've already developed and how you developed, I fit in right there with them.
Yep, you do. Yep.
It blew me away.
It's an unreal
OG
feeling.
blew me
voice.
away.
It's an unreal feeling voice.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an unreal feeling. So we're definitely gonna coordinate episode 2, and we're gonna get there. If you guys haven't listened to episode 1, it is now available on the In Your House network on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And on Saturday, will be available on the Pope's Point of View network as well. So we're gonna be streaming it on 2 different networks on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. So look forward to that. If you are a Pope's Point of View listener, you'll be listening to Pope and the Con Man this week. So it's going to be a great. But let's get to this episode of AEW Dynamite, because I thought this episode of AEW Dynamite was great, as I'm getting my notes up here to talk about this episode. So one big thing for me that I did enjoy about this episode that I really liked is that for me, it was a night of absolute chaos. Whether it was Willow and Mercedes and their explosion that they had, whether it had been Kevin Knight literally trying to kill Darby Allin, and I think I have a pretty, I don't know if it's a hot take, but I think it's a take that you guys might agree with when I get to that point about Kevin Knight. But he basically tried to explode Darby Allin. That was crazy. Or Omega and Ospreay. It was a night of absolute chaos. Rivalries were exploding all over the show. And I gotta ask you this, OG, because throughout the show of the show, and the flow of the show, that is, it really felt to me that Kenny Omega was the heel, man.
Oh yeah.
Felt like he was the heel.
Definitely, they're one. That's the only thing. And don't get me wrong, I'm excited for this match. It's going to be a great match.
Sure.
And I thought they did a good job of this episode of building for that match. That's something the last couple episodes they haven't built towards all that great. I thought they did a better job last night, especially for the 2 main events with the women's championship and the men's championship. But the one thing that I don't know if bugs me is the right word, but yeah, they're making Kenny a heel because I assume they think they need him as a
but
heel.
MJF is right there.
They had him. They already had the effing heel. That's
Exactly.
that's the only thing that kind of bugs me a little bit. But I do understand what they're going for, and so I'm not going to put them down for it because it's going to be a great match.
Yeah.
It's going to be fantastic, and that's what they wanted. And so I'll just have to get over it. But that's the only thing. I mean, they're kind of I don't know if forcing him to be a heel is the right word, but
It is, Tony.
it
It
seems that
is.
way.
It does
They
feel a
have
little
to.
forced.
Yeah.
It does seem a little forced. I mean, and it's strange because I'm still saying that I enjoyed this show, but I've been watching AEW Dynamite. Did the Young Bucks feel like they were just like kind of there? Like I feel like they haven't been there for a while.
Yeah, I agree with you. They didn't do much to build the Bucks. I mean, I know at the end, I'm gonna call him Edge because I'm Cope. Cope came out, but it was just kind of an afterthought. Honestly, I thought the main thing they focused on was the main events, a little bit with Kevin Knight and the Darby thing, which I thought was okay. Didn't think it was great, but I mean, I liked it. They're trying.
Yeah.
The last two weeks, I didn't feel like they were trying that hard.
It's a little slow.
I felt like they tried on this episode. I really do. I thought I'm not saying everything hit, but
Yeah.
I liked the episode. I thought it was definitely an upgrade from the last couple of weeks.
Most definitely, I agree with that. And there was a lot that went on. Again, like I said, I love the interview segments with both the men and the women's world champions and their challengers. Both titles got time to breathe and feel kind of important, kind of like what OG just said. Also, Jon Moxley advanced in the C3, and I hate it. Absolutely hate it. Mox moves on, but this is absolutely not the direction I or any of us wanted. An injured Nigel McGuinness advances in the C3. Nigel is fighting through the injury, but he somehow keeps surviving. Could he seriously go all the way to the finals in Wembley? Maya World's push isn't over, and the reason why I'm saying Maya World's push isn't over, I was talking to Voice a little bit, and he thought that they might be kind of slowing down a little bit on Maya World. But when we talked about it, I said this episode of AEW Dynamite, specifically that TBS Championship Fatal 4-Way, will be telling, because if they drop the title, then yeah, they might be kind of slowing down and pumping the brakes on her. But if she retains, no, her momentum is continuing. She retained the TBS Championship and continued to be featured prominently heading into All In, as she does have a championship match this Saturday against Willow Nightingale for a chance to be Maya 2 belts. So that's a possibility there as well. Kevin Knight's getting more and more demented. And here's my take here. And then I'm going to give it to OG, and he's going to give his thoughts on the show overall. And then we're going to go to Voice over here. But I think that if MJF was not around, Kevin Knight would legitimately be AEW's top heel. I don't know what you think about that, OG.
I think he could be. I think it's been a good thing for him to be in the Don Callis family, but Don Callis has got so many people. I almost think that he would need to be
By himself?
exclusively with Don Callis.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Or by himself, where like Don Callis only dealt with him on a one-to-one basis, and then dealt with a group, or he was by himself.
Yeah.
But I would say probably in their mind, if MJF went there, they would have Kenny Omega. It looks like they're going to go, at least right now, Kenny Omega full-fledged heel.
For
I
sure.
would say I think that's where they would go, I think.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean like more like, because this Kenny Omega heel turn is just like, boom, here he is. I mean like the way they've been building Kevin Knight, he's being built like he's a possible future top heel.
Yeah, that's I don't disagree with that. Yeah, definitely. I think he's going to be their top, right there.
Obviously, if Kenny's turning, he's the top heel without MJF.
Yeah, I agree. And do you think the show suffered last night a little bit with MJF not being live?
I think the show suffered a little bit with MJF not being there. And was Don Callis there?
No.
See, and they were chanting for him. And I know I didn't say Don Callis, but like, listen, they were saying fuck Don Callis, and he wasn't even there in the building. Like, That's top heel vibes right there, bro.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
all right, let me get your overall thoughts on the show before I pivot over to voice.
Yeah, I thought it was a solid show. There were some things I liked. There was some things I loved, but uh, I really liked the Omega's Ospreay set down. I actually thought kind of, and this is unusual for me. I thought Omega outshined Ospreay.
He did.
I thought,
No, he
yeah,
did.
Osprey's not super great on the mic, and another thing for Ospreay, I think it was too long of a segment.
Yeah, and I think Ospreay is really trying to carry emotion. Like, you have somebody like Kenny Omega who's sitting there staying calm and relaxed. But Ospreay, he's not great on the mic. That's why he has to rely so heavily on, having his character wears his heart on his sleeve.
And I think they're trying to turn Omega, but I don't know if it's working. The crowd seemed pretty into him still. And another thing about this segment that I thought was interesting, I don't know if you guys noticed it, that I thought it was great for the TV audience. I didn't think it was great for the audience in attendance because it was so long and it was backstage. And I thought the audience was shouting out some things, not necessarily bad things, but I think it was probably kind of boring for them.
They were probably bored, yeah,
to a certain degree. So, but yeah, I love the Mercedes thing. That
was great.
And you guys know that I've not been I don't want to say biggest fan because I love Willow. She's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
But you guys know how I felt about the other champion who I think should have been in the match.
Yep. Tekla.
But this helped that some. I felt like this helped that some. But the show is missing Tekla.
It looks like she's not making the show, OG.
Yeah. And I think AEW misses her not being on TV. I really do. The Nigel McGuinness thing, I don't really get. That's just me personally. I mean, you're talking about a guy that was retired for 13 years. You put him in this tournament. He beats the champion from Mexico.
Yeah. Like what? With a bum ankle.
Yeah, with a broken ankle basically. So I don't know about that, but again, I thought it was a solid show. I liked the Andrade thing, squashing the Cruz guy, the Spanish translator.
Yeah, I think Jonathan Cruz or something.
I enjoyed that. I thought they did a lot more right than they did wrong. But the one thing that I hated was the Brawling Birds.
My god. Ugh. Yeah, I'm not into it, dude. It's like just a stereotype of Brits. Like, it's not good. It's not good. They're like, "Aye, mate, I'm just gonna go to the pub and start a fight, aye, mate." And I'm like, "Shut the fuck up!" Like,
yes.
like all you do, like I like the UK. I like people from the UK. You just being a stereotype, and it's just not good at all. I don't like it. Ugh.
Just one other thing, real quick.
Yeah, no, please go.
Jay White, man, what are we doing?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm beginning to think Moxley, this tournament is just to build Moxley's ego.
I was gonna say it's the Moxley stroke session tournament.
Well, it's hey, I'm not in the main event, but I'll show everybody. I'm gonna go through this 16-man tournament and win and keep my championship. I'll show everybody I'm the biggest fucking star, not the main event. That's almost the way I kind of feel about it. And if they go through that and he wins this
I'm gonna be pissed, dude.
For me, it'd be a huge fail. And I know there's some big Moxley fans out there, and that's fine. But people complain about Roman Reigns, and they complain about other people. Moxley would be just as bad, especially winning a 16-man tournament when he's already got the belt.
Exactly,
stroking his ego.
What are we doing?
When he's got all these other young talents that they could be pushing. Moxley don't need it. Moxley could just be in feuds and kick people's asses and be just fine. If he don't want to make people, that's fine. There's other wrestlers don't make people too, and it's been throughout history that way. That's fine. But to just continue to I'm not in the. I mean, think about the last 2 years, guys. He held that damn title and kept it in a freaking briefcase.
Yep.
It basically made the title a joke, in my opinion. And then he went on a little losing streak a little bit, but he's been featured on TV probably more than anybody.
Week, every single solitary week, and
Multiple
a lot of
segments.
the time he's wrestling. Like,
And
he's not even a featured attraction. OG,
not to me.
oversaturated as hell. Oversaturated as hell. So yeah, I once again thought this was a good episode, but we've talked enough. We got to give it to Voice here. Voice, what were some of your thoughts on this episode, August 19th edition of AEW Dynamite?
I agree with OG. Before we go any further on the whole Mox situation, it just seems like this is just set up for his own ego because he's not the AEW World Champion. You have to, I don't know, placate to him, which really pisses me off because you had the perfect opportunity for two up-and-coming guys for the AEW roster this year. Leading into the 2027 years. Jay White and Jack Perry, you had a chance for both of them to have taken Mox out of the tournament, and which would have created built-in heat between the two for outside of the tournament, moving forward, progressing stories. I feel this episode should have been done 3 weeks ago and then build upon it going into All In. Not just like, what are we, a week out?
Yeah.
Before we're diving into like actual meat and potatoes of All In.
Yep.
It drives me nuts that we went from, I believe it was last year, from Tony Khan coming out and being like, we don't try to tell stories over here, we wrestle. Okay, but every time you get close to a pay-per-view, you want to try to tell stories. When you could have just told these stories weeks ago and built upon them. Because right now, it's kind of annoying that we're getting Jon Moxley pushed in a tournament in which he already has credentials for.
Yeah.
Like, he's already
the champ.
He's already the guy. He doesn't need to be the guy in the tournament. We need somebody in the tournament to become the guy, to go against the guy.
Yeah.
You have to beat the man. You have to be the man. You know, like, all this bold nonsense. It drives me nuts. I hate that shit. I like what they're doing with Willow and Moné. I think that this is the way you tell stories when it comes to a title. I don't like this Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay thing. That sit down thing, that was Kenny Omega's stroke, says. I could fucking tell a story. Look at me. I'm sitting at a table. I'm talking to Will Ospreay. I'm making sure he's uncomfortable. The fucking idiot's uncomfortable anytime you have him on screen for more than 2 minutes. Like,
oh yeah, we gave Ricochet hell, but let's talk about Will Ospreay and him being afraid of a mic.
Let's talk. You don't even have to put a mic in front of him. Just put his stupid fucking entrance coat on him and watch him struggle with that there for 30 seconds. The fucking kid's a bumbling idiot who gets lucky in the fact that he can do all these amazing things. Jeez, exactly.
Go to a vest.
I got this from my dad's closet, bruv. My dad wore it to his accounting classes. Oh, this is what I do, bruv. I can't fucking not fumble around with it, bruv. Get out of town.
I played Assassin's Creed for 100 hours, bruv.
Yeah, exactly. Did you notice the outline of it? That's all for my Assassin's Creed. I don't care. The guy sucks. This is annoying. You had a built-in manufactured heat machine called MJF, the top Hebrew. He's out there. You fucking throw him into a match at All In. Then you don't have to fucking paint by numbers Omega heel guy. Get the fuck out of here with this heel bullshit with Kenny Omega.
It's too much use. What are we doing? What are we doing?
At the worst, they could have made it a 3-way.
At the worst.
Oh, why aren't we doing that? We talked about that when this started.
Yes,
we're
we
like,
did.
okay, well, if
Yes,
you're
we
gonna
did.
go that route, let's see if they do go into a 3-way dance. But they're not going to. They're not They're riding this wave. They think Kenny Omega is gonna knock it out of the park. I don't know. Maybe he will. Maybe he won't. The match is gonna be great. But if you're trying to tell me that this is a great story that these two are telling all of us, I'm not like Howse says, if they're in my backyard, I'm not opening the blinds for this one. I'm sorry. The story has not led me to believe this is going to be a great match. I know it will be, but the story has not led me to believe that.
Well, it's overly convoluted. That's the thing. You had the Death Riders in there, and then they're not in there, and then Kenny's, Kenny loves them, then Kenny hates him. Then it's like, it's overly convoluted to where it's like, the match is going to bang. I mean, outside of Okada, Fletcher, and Chateska, that could possibly be match of the night.
Dude,
outside of that, yeah, we'll get to it.
Yeah, I forgot all about that moment.
That's gonna be amazing. But like the thing is, you took us on this weird roller coaster, and it's supposed to being on a roller coaster is supposed to be a good thing. Like I will say this, I'm gonna give them a little bit of credit. We talked about them taking Moxley and the Death Riders out of the story, and they did it. So kudos to that. But it's been so overly convoluted just to get to where we are right now, voice.
Yeah. And I honestly, I don't think Mox is going to be completely out of the main event picture.
Yeah,
I know
I'm
for
not so
leading
sure about
up
that.
to it, yes, they have listened to us. But I think in the overall grand scheme of things, I think he's going to be involved in that main event picture.
I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it.
I don't either.
I know. I don't want to see it. But, another thing I wanted to bring up is, Andrade's not getting paid by the hour, as OG kind of said there. But I did have a thought about that, and I wanted to get your guys' thoughts on it. I'll start with OG over here. You'd kind of almost forget that Andrade was the national champion because he seems to only care about just becoming the world champion. So it's like, what are we doing here? You know what I'm saying? What's your thoughts on that, OG?
Yeah, unfortunately, and they're not the only company. AEW or WWE does it too sometimes. That national belt don't mean nothing. It hasn't
Zero.
since they brought it in. And most of their belts are that way, unfortunately. I wish they would do. They got too many titles, first of all. But the main thing they need to focus like on the ladies championship and the
Yes.
men's championship, and then the other one, which all wrestling needs to focus on, is the fucking tag team championships.
Yes.
And
Preach.
that's all wrestling. So WWE, AEW, about everybody needs to rebuild their tag team, but I don't know if it's going to happen because Tony Khan is so worried about the damn six-mans.
Yeah, we're definitely going to get to that because this 6-man thing is getting absolutely crazy here. So I'm not sure about that, but this episode. So I had another thought here, and this time I'm going to go to voice for this one. We have four mid-card men's championships. I'm going to get OG's thoughts on this after voice, but we have the national championship. We have the international championship. We have the TNT championship. And then we have the continental championship. That's four men's mid-card championships. 2 questions here for both of you. Which one do you think is the most prestigious of the 4? And if you could only keep one, which one would you pick? Voice?
Well,
I know it's a tough one, but it's we gotta get, like, in my mind, we gotta get these titles out of here.
Well, right now, which one is considered the equivalent to the IC? I think we need to draw comparisons in what they're equivalent to.
So let's do that. So when I think of the TNT championship, I think of the television championship.
Okay.
So think
TNT,
television championship.
television. All
Yes.
right.
So when I think of the international championship, I think of the intercontinental belt. So the IC title.
I see.
When it comes to, when it comes to the continental championship, that's a stretch for me, honestly. But the European championship.
Okay.
European championship, and then what's left? The national championship.
Yeah.
The national championship, I'd say probably closer to the U.S. title, United States Championship. So let's go with that.
Okay, so to me, this is how you. I'm going to answer your question, but I'm going to give you an answer to what I think you should do ultimately with these titles.
Okay.
I think you need to take the TNT title and the national title and make those Collision exclusive titles. The Intercontinental and the Continental. The international and the continental one. You keep that on Collision. But if I'm going to say which one's the TNT title to me is most prestigious.
It's got the most history with the company.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I would keep that one if I had to keep any of them. That's the one I'm keeping. That's the one I think has been built by everybody in the company, not just one side of the company.
Yeah.
Here or there, and it's got a legacy to it. I think, honestly, some of the names need to be changed around too. They're getting a little like, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah. I always worry. Obviously, that hasn't happened, but I was always worried, what are you going to call the TNT Championship if the day ever comes? I hope it doesn't, but the day ever comes that AEW isn't on TNT anymore.
Yeah.
I always thought about that. That's why I was like, why didn't you just call it the World Television Championship? And for me personally, I think that a television championship, call me crazy, but I think a television championship should be defended weekly on television. So,
well, that's a rational thinking house, and we don't need rational thinking here at the Worldwide of Wrestling.
That's true. That's true. Let me pivot over to OG, though. I want to get your thoughts on it. Which mid-card title, men's mid-card title, in your opinion, is the most prestigious, and which one would you keep?
If I only could keep one, I kind of agree with Josh about the TNT because it was there before the other ones.
Yes.
So I kind of agree with that. Now, looking at it from a standpoint that you have so many ties with Japan and Mexico, the international title could be a good title to have.
International title's up there, yeah.
So, but the other two titles, the Continental and the national title, I would do away with both those.
I think the national title was just a petty thing towards the NWA.
Yep, it was.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, oh, we're doing a petty thing, but now we got to keep it. And it's so meaningless. Like, in my opinion, of the 4 championships, it's the most meaningless. By far. I mean, I don't love the Continental title, but at least we have tournaments and stuff over it. Like, at least there's some different rules that fall under the Continental title. I like that. I mean, it is what it is on that. But the National Championship, that one would definitely be the first to get out. Get it out of here. Get it done. Why be petty with the NWA? It's stupid. I don't like it. It's just pointless. But let's hit this chat real quick before we take a break, because we have to take our break so we can do our loves and the lows on the other side. But let's hit the chat. Let's see what they're talking about. I know Fightins was in there talking. That's my boy over there, Fightins1. He says Mox is like one of their top 5 guys. he needs to linger around the main event territory. It's an ego thing, bro. It's most definitely an ego thing, and I wish that he can get out of his own way. He's been there with AEW since the beginning, so I'd like to see him do better. We got Nightwing. He's representing In Your House from over in the UK. He's going to be at All In, and we're going to hope to get some time with him on our AEW All In watch along on August 30th, 1 p.m. Join us here on Kick. Join us here on Twitch. And he says none of their titles are equivalent to the IC title. They have so many titles so TK can stroke the talent's ego and make them feel important. Yeah, I kind of agree with that, because when you look at an episode of AEW Dynamite, and let's be fair, it's kind of happening over on WWE as well too. Everybody has a belt for something. Everybody's got a title for something. I remember back in the day when you was a champion, that meant something. It meant you got a big bump in pay, you got more TV time, this and this and that. Now it's like, dang, I'm about to sound like the old guy. I'm about to sound like Tony over here. Now it sounds like we're handing out titles like participation trophies. What are we doing?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
When you have an abundance, they're not special.
Yep.
If everybody's got one, or if you're a Starbelly Sneech,
bro, let me
gives a fuck?
Let me make a point to you over here. I have two beautiful title belts right over here. Right over here for my collection. In prestigious wise, because I didn't win them, because I didn't earn them, they are not worth a fuck.
Yeah.
They're just there for scenery, bro. Like, they look nice. They're very nice looking, but they don't mean shit because I didn't earn them, because I didn't win them. Those things aren't the reason why I'm feeding my family. That's what I'm saying. That title, those titles they meant something. They meant more food for your family. They meant more money in your pocket, more TV time, more exposure, more chances to go out there and represent the brand, more chances to be QB1, and it's not like that anymore. It's not.
Yeah.
So, hey, it is what it is. But listen, let's go ahead and hit this break real quick because, listen, fellas, we're about to hit these loves. We're about to hit these loaves. And we got to see what OG's talking about because I know he's been kind of split down the middle on this episode. So we're going to be like, let's see what OG is thinking. We're going to talk to OG here in a second and get his loves and lows, guys. Always remember, we're giving y'all that work, and we're going to give you more of that work on the other side of this break.
Welcome to the Brainbuster T-shirt website where your favorite podcast team in your house lives. Look at all these fantastic options you have.
If you want that sweet hype, we got it. You want to be divinely designed at yours. Have you lost your voice? We have all that voice merch for you. Are you just a part of the household? We got that too. Brainbuster Tees is where I YH live. Brainbuster Tees is where I YH live.
Welcome to the Brainbuster T-shirt website where your favorite podcast team in your house lives.
Hey guys, welcome back to In Your House, and I'm hanging out with OG Tony Gonzalez, and of course, my brother from another mother. That's the voice, Josh Joseph, and we're talking some AEW Dynamite. We had a really cool conversation on the first half of this episode. I got a chance to ask the guys some cool questions here and get some of their thoughts on the title situation. I ranted about the title. All right, I was an old man yelling at a cloud. I was ranting about the title, but that's because I'm passionate about it. All right, I'm passionate. All right, so, but we got to get to these loves. We got to get to these lows, but listen, before we do, you already know what it is. We got to show some love to our people over there at NordVPN because, listen, this episode of In Your House is powered by NordVPN. Look, there's already enough heels trying to get your attention. You don't need hackers cutting a promo on your personal information too. Protect your online activity with NordVPN. You get 75% off the 2-year plan plus 3 extra months. All you got to do is go to inyourhouse.com/NordVPN and protect yourself online. NordVPN, because getting worked is for wrestling, not for the internet. So let's jump right back into it here. We got to get to these loves. We got to get to these loaves. OG, it's your time, man. Give me some loves. Give me some loaves.
Yeah, I had 2 loves and 2 loves. My loves. One was Takeshita. He's back.
Yes,
He's one
I'm
of my
so
favorites. And that's like you guys, I think, mentioned earlier. That match will probably steal the show.
Yeah.
I think if they give him the time or let him, unless they try to keep him back from stealing the show. But I don't think
They better
will.
not.
Well, I don't think Kyle Fletcher would allow it. So
No.
but yeah, I just love Takeshita being back. I like that segment pretty well. I think it's going to be a fantastic match between them 3. My other love was Mercedes and Willow. That made me. I knew before it was going to be a good match, but this one hooked me.
Yeah.
I thought this segment really hooked me, and got me more interested in it. So them are my 2 loves. My loaves, of course, I mentioned earlier, the Brawling Birds. The women's tag team division. I mean, they've got a good tag team there with, of course, I'm going to forget their names. Damn it.
Maya World and High End?
They're okay, but the other 2, it was
Divine Dominion.
No, they're worse than.
They're terrible. You must mean the Sisters of Sin.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Sisters of Sin.
Somebody, at least I'm interested in them.
Yes. Yeah.
And they're doing that, I think that now a couple of them's been wrestling overseas and doing decent in Japan. So that's what they're doing right now. But I don't get the Brawling Birds thing.
No.
And then my other low, which I mentioned earlier too, guys, what are we doing with Jay White? I mean, I heard a lot of things about Jay White, and he never proved anything to me because he couldn't stay healthy. And now he's come back and he looks really good. And I believe in the guy, and they're doing nothing with him. I don't understand.
The Moxley effect, bro.
And then one thing that you guys brought up about that was, why have Moxley in the tournament? Just have him wait on the people, and you could build these guys up. But you notice who the first 2 people he beat?
The young up and comers.
The two best candidates.
Yes.
He had to put out. So that's really makes me think it's a big ego fuck thing for Moxley.
Yeah.
No, you're absolutely the 2 guys that I was most excited to see win this thing. Jungle Jack Perry and of course Switchblade Jay White. What are we doing? Doing? Somebody's got to stop him. Somebody's got to stop him. I don't know who, but somebody's got to stop him. But let's go over to Voice. Give me some loves and give me some loaves.
Yeah. Real quick, I want to second what he's saying, what OG's saying.
Let's go.
And Fighting's one. I don't care if you're a Moxley lover. You kiss him. I love you, Jon Moxley. You're top 5. You need to be. I don't care. No, you need to stay away from everything. You're being annoying because it's true. Why did we not just have Moxley not in that tournament? We could have built up so many great new talents, and that would have expanded Moxley's world. It's like he doesn't see the forest because he's on his knees, whatever Marilyn Manson said in the song. It doesn't matter. Anyways, I have to just say that. That's not one of my hates or lows, but it should be. But one of my lows is something that I do love, because we did get to see Jay White. We got to see him in the tournament, 2nd round. Oh my God, who's he get? As soon as I was told it was Mox, I said, we're done. What's the point of this tournament now?
Yeah.
Because now you've taken out the second guy that I really wanted to see. And now you're setting up for Nigel McGuinness. So guess what, guys? If he faces him, guess who's not going to make it to the finals? Yeah, Nigel. So I'm kind of annoyed with this tournament. It seems like It was just set up for Mox, and if that's it, that's fine. Do what you want to do, but then just throw in random guys like Brodito. Throw all of those guys in. Their triple threat that they got going on over there. Throw those guys into the tournament. They can each all do whatever the fuck it is all they do with Mox, and that one really kind of sucks. It just really sucks the way they're doing this tournament. What I am loving, though, and I hate to mimic it, but I am loving what they're doing in the women's division. Moné and Willow are doing fantastic work.
That was
They're doing exactly what we need them to do on the men's to make this match interesting. I'm sorry. I'm not interested in the Omega and Ospreay match. You can't tell me that I am. Am I going to watch it because they're going to do move after move after move? Yes. But storytelling-wise, this is boring. This is legit boring. You threw away one of the top moments that we could have had, and it could have been overseas with Ospreay and MJF in the middle of that ring before anything is thrown for 5 minutes, acknowledging the fans and them going back and forth between who they love more. Everything outside of that moment is a manufactured moment that you did not need to manufacture because it was already on the floor. It was already ready to go, packaged beautifully, ready for us to consume as the viewers. And you pissed it away because Kenny Omega has an ego. I'm done.
We gotta listen. These older talents and their egos, it's really holding back good stuff. Because tell me that MJF wouldn't get Will Ospreay over in a major way. He would get him over. All he would have to do, I mean, obviously the lead up, he would do great things in the lead up to the match because MJF is an incredible storyteller. I mean, he's QB1. He doesn't have to have the title when the guy's QB1. I mean, it is what it is. And anytime he has that title, it brings more legitimacy to it. But the fact of the matter is, MJF, all he would have to do is come out of Wembley with his USA gear on.
Yep. Oh yeah.
And they're gonna boo him out of the building. Out of the building. Yes, Nightwing, and they all said CM Punk had an ego.
Yeah.
Listen, Moxley, Omega, it's the writing on the wall. It's the writing on the wall. We all see it for what it is. And you want to have your last hurrah? I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to tell you this right now. MJF, he's going to come in there, and everybody thinks this is about to be Andrade's hurrah story. And I love Andrade. He's great. But tell me that All Out in Chicago doesn't need Will Ospreay versus MJF. That's got to be next up. Yep. Because if it's gonna be Andrade versus Will Ospreay at All Out, I love Andrade. I think he's doing great work. I think he's built up amazingly for sure. But that to me feels like, well, this is Will Ospreay's first opponent that he's gonna beat for his title run. That's what it feels like. But if it's MJF versus Will Ospreay, it's like, oh man, Will Ospreay might lose his title a little quicker than what we thought. He might only have a month to enjoy it. So let's be mindful, AEW, of what we're walking into in Chicago on September 26th. We're going to a hostile territory, Chicago, that loves wrestling, and also it's going to be a war that night with WWE and AEW. WWE and AAA, that is, that's going to be rivaling you. So you're going to have to put out your top guns if you want people to pick. CM Punk's already being promoted for that card. What? They're not playing around. WWE's not playing around. So AEW, you got to quit. You got to fondling these guys' balls in their ego and tell them, listen, we got to play some hardball here. We gotta play some hardball here. You can have your little feel-good moments at All In, but at All Out, the dynamic needs to change. So let me go through my loves and my lows real quick so we can get OG out of here and call this a really great episode. The Mercedes Moné and Willow segment was just so good. I mean, I know we're all agreeing on that, but just there feels like there's real hate. And Moné wants to get rid of that smile. And the way that she said, oh, well, when you hurt me, when you took my title, all I saw was that smile. So I don't just want to take that title, I want to take your smile too. And the way she calls her a dumb bitch with such disdain. And you can tell that she hates her. And Willow, who's normally all smiles, she had to come different, you know what I'm saying? And a different vibe, a different feel for Miss Willow. So, and then let's not talk about the reality. And I like Voice, you know me because you're the same way. ECW guy, you are. We like a spectacle. And when she was coming, Willow was coming to the ring and be like, let's go, let's get it. We can do this right now. We can get this work right now. I loved it. Loved it when Moné hit her into the camera because it felt real. It felt raw. They're fighting out to the ring. I loved it. This segment for me, 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
10 out of 10.
Realism.
Sense of realism.
They hit it perfectly.
They hit it perfectly. I enjoyed that quite a bit for sure. Another love that I had is Maya World still has momentum. I am thoroughly enjoying Maya World. We have a women's division that needs to build talent, so we got to keep building up names like Maya World. She retained the TBS Championship. She has a championship match against Willow on Collision this Saturday. Do I think she's going to win it? I think there's a 0% chance of her winning it because they're not going to sacrifice the Willow, Nightingale, and Mercedes Moné women's main event. But she's going to give a great match for sure. She's for sure going to give a great match. One thing me and OG talked about a little bit on our chats is there was 2 trios matches, and we're like, we don't want to go too hard with all those multi-man matches, but one thing that I did love was the spacing between the 2 trios matches. One opened the show, and the other main evented, keeping them from feeling repetitive. So I thought there was really good space for if we have to have 2 trios matches, I love the fact that we did it this way. So I'm going to get to my lows here, and that is obviously Jon Moxley. I'm just going to leave it at that. I mean, I just wanted it to be said, but it's most definitely that. I'm not loving the blurring the lines with the Kenny Omega thing here because it's just like you guys said, and I'm kind of beating a dead horse, but these are my loaves, and if I share loaves, it's still my loaves to share, and it's like, why were we doing this? We're like, well, we want Will Ospreay to get the best reaction that he possibly can, so we have to make Kenny Omega heel or have him doing heelish things so that way he gets the best reaction, he can get boos and stuff like that. MJF was right there, idiot. Like, I know we've said it once, we said it twice, we've said it 3 times, but what are we doing? This is forced. MJF is right there. And then you have MJF just being, an absolute masterpiece with anything that he's given. I mean, you give him anything, he's going to make it work. Because I don't think just anybody would be able to carry the storyline with Andrade as well as MJF is doing right now. Which leads me to my other loaves, and these are the last ones right here, and that's no MJF on the show 11 days before the pay-per-view, and no Don Callis on the show 11 days before the pay-per-view. Don Callis is a top heel in this company. They chant "fuck Don Callis" when he's not in the building. I felt like that he needed to be there because, like him or not, like the Don Callis family or not, Don Callis is the catalyst to a lot of storytelling on that roster. And with it being 11 days out, I just felt like he needed to be there. So that's what I think there. But let's go ahead and go around, do some quick ratings of the show real quick. Before we get out of here, OG, what are you rating the show?
I thought it was a solid show. I'll give it a 7 3/4.
All right, I like that. What about you, Voice?
I'm going to say a 7.5. I can't go any higher than that this week, but I did enjoy the show.
Yeah, I enjoyed the show too because of the element of chaos that I talked about at the top of the show with with Kevin Knight and Darby Allin, Omega and Ospreay, Willow and Mercedes. I'm gonna give this a solid 8 just because I like chaos. What can I say? I like a spectacle, and there was a lot of that in this night. I felt like this night was less about the wrestling and more about building feuds and building towards All In, and that's something that you don't really get a whole lot with AEW. They focus a lot on the matches and a little bit less on the building of feuds. So I appreciate the fact that they mixed it up a little bit. So I give it an 8 out of 10. But OG, we always appreciate your time. You're an amazing personality here and in your house. But I know you have other work to do over there on GWR Gonzo Sports Room, Gonzo Wrestling Room. If you want to quickly go ahead and tell them where they can catch you at, and then we'll get you out of here.
Well, the main thing, we got 2 shows tonight at 8 o'clock and 10 o'clock. Well, it's gonna be a little after 8, but we've got the Face or Heel Pro Wrestling Talk. We also have at 10 o'clock. We've got Gonzo Sports Room. Catch me on In Your House tomorrow night. Me and Chris doing the after party for SmackDown. As soon as SmackDown's over, and then a big thing I've got this weekend. It's a huge show. Me and Chris and Marcus, all the guys from GWR is going to be there at WCWO Thunderstorm 2. That's Saturday, August 22nd in Indianapolis at the Edison School of the Arts. Doors open at 6, bell time at 7. You're going to see such stars as Rhino, Gangrel, Killer Kelly, Shark Boy, Rob Conway, Tamiko Fatu, which is another one of Rikishi's sons.
Yeah.
The highlight
Holy
reel,
hell.
Dex Royal, Rachel Armstrong, Zay Gates, and more Reddy Malenko, and many more. And listen to this, guys.
God.
Floor seats are only $15, and bleacher seats are $12.
To watch all those guys wrestle.
Yes, and it's going to be about an 8 or 9 match card. You have a battle royal. It's going to be a huge show. They had front row seats for $20, but they've already sold out. They've sold quite a few tickets already. This Thunderstorm 1 was last year when the Royal Rumble was, and they sold out the place 1,000 people last year. So it was a fantastic show last year. So this is going to be a big show, and if you're in the Indy area, come and check us out because I think you have fun.
That is, oh my God, OG. I hope you have an absolute blast, bro. For sure. I'm going to get you out of here, voice. Let them know where they can catch you and the amazing work you do as producer of In Your House.
All right, fans. So why don't you stumble back in next Thursday and hang out with us 3 so we can talk some more AEW Dynamite. Yeah. It's a 6 p.m. start time when we jump in and we start talking AEW. Come hang out with me, OG Tony, and Howse on Thursdays. Well, fans, if you like Monday Night Raw, well, I got the show for you because it's got Bruzy and it's got Kevin Calloway, and we're talking Monday Night Raw on a Tuesday. We give you that 24-hour period where you get to sit back, relax, and, focus on what you should, the enjoyment of wrestling, not the hatred of wrestling. Come hang out with us. We go live at 6:15 where Bruzy, Kevin Calloway, and me give you each a topic to discuss, and then we just let you wolves go at it like rabid animals like you are. Fighting's one. We see you. We acknowledge you. You're a fun guy. I enjoy your comments, especially on a Tuesday night. You keep that chat alive. Outside of that, guys, we had an experiment, the first round, the premiere episode, and it was a success. And it took place of a weekly show that we do. It's the WCW Watch Along. It was a fantastic experiment, but we're getting back into the swing of it, and that's WCW, where me and Howse, we sit back and we watch. That's right, WCW. We go back in time and watch along together some WCW. That's at 6 p.m. where me and Howse, if you haven't figured it out, we watch WCW. So come hang out with us on a Wednesday, 6 p.m., where we watch WCW.
For sure. And I enjoy some WCW, but also where you can catch me at this Monday, 6 p.m. special start time, Monday Night Raw. I'm going to be doing our first ever Monday Night Raw watch along. So you guys can join me. They're doing it early, so that's why I wanted to do it and give you guys some extra content out there in the household. And I'm going to have a great time. I don't get a chance to watch Monday Night Raw with you guys in the household, so I'm going to have a blast doing it. Outside of that, Voice, are you ready?
I'm ready.
www.inyourhouse.com, www.inyourhouse.com, www.inyourhouse.com. Catch our blogs, our vlogs. Check out everybody that's on the team. Check our team, our friends, just like Gonzo Sports Room, Gonzo Wrestling Room, of course, the Construction Worker and Rib Shot, and all of our upcoming events. Remember, August 30th, AEW All In, and we're going to watch it together as a team. We might get some time with Nightwing as he's going to be there representing In Your House at Wembley Stadium. Guys, you already know what it is. It's all part of the work, and that's HOWSE, and the W stands for work. So for OG Tony Gonzalez from Gonzo Sports Room, Gonzo Wrestling Room, and of course the voice, Josh Joseph, and the whole team here at In Your House, I'm Malachi the Con Man House, here to remind you to tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to hop on this bandwagon, get on or get gone, because the household is still going mighty strong. You guys have a great day and a great rest of your week. We'll catch you tomorrow when OG and Gonzo are going to be talking some SmackDown. Peace.